G'day guys, it's Fish, the beach bum investor. Just bringing you a late cryptocurrency report tonight. I got stuck in the surf, I am sorry about that. The market's down a little. We're sitting at about 83 billion on the market cap. All the majors are fairly steady. Ethereum took a fall back down to 200 after making some really good ground. I can't understand what that's about. I mean, it's going to have some hurdles, all these cryptos are, but Vitalik's a smart kid, he'll figure it out. So for me, I'm still liking Ethereum at the moment long term. Litecoin is undervalued in my opinion. It's come up a little actually, so it's still undervalued, but it's a nice recovery there. So it's trading at $46 US. It's still too cheap. It should benefit either way from the SegWit decision. Obviously, if Bitcoin's transaction speeds are increased, and you've got this dynamic processing between the two coins, they'll be more in demand. So Litecoin should benefit if it's approved, and if it's not, people are probably going to withdraw from Bitcoin a little bit because it's less viable as a currency. I still think long term it's got a great, it's going to have a great store of wealth. So I think, but if that decision does go wrong, it could take a little retracement before it starts to go back up again, and the money coming out of that will flow into the other blue chips, is my belief. I actually read that as a thesis on Steemit, so I don't want to claim that thesis as my own, but I think it's solid. So yeah, Litecoin's good buying. I like PivX. I love ChainCoin, don't get me wrong, fellow hodlers. I know that PivX is somewhat I guess a competitor now, but the reality is we're going to need other currencies to balance ours in the future. So PivX has a real strong possibility of being number 2 or number 3, depending on how Dash goes. So yeah, I like PivX. I think they've got a good coin. I think their marketing needs a little bit more work in terms of they need to get what they're doing out there. The fact that you can get residual income on this thing, that needs to be promoted. So when that all hits public interest and it finally gets onto Polo, we might see some really good price action around PivX. So for me, at $1.70 odd is what I saw it at today, or just before I started. That's too cheap. ChainCoin's exploded, $6.60 roughly was when I last saw it. It was taking a little retracement off the 660 psychological resistance there. Long term, I have no idea what Scotty's doing in the kitchen. I'm sorry about that. In any case, I don't think it's anything to be concerned about. I mean, Max and the team at High Coins know what they're doing. They've got the buy walls set up in solid positions, and they're running a collaborative strategy with a hell of a lot of power in this economy. So I'm not concerned. It could drop 30%. I wouldn't be worried, because at the level I bought it at, I know I'm going to return my money very quickly by just running the node, and that's why I'm not even selling anything. Usually I don't advise that. I like to take some profit as I go, but this is a little different for me. I got in super early on a movement, and I'm going to stick with it. Hey, if it busts, I've lost $600. If it keeps going, sky's the limit. So yeah, I'm going to stick with it. If you are getting into ChainCoin, and I can advise it, because Max has got a plan past just trading it up to a good price. He, bringing on marketers, developers, all that sort of thing. So yeah, please have a look at it. But buying your dips, don't get on the parabolics. It's not good trading. It doesn't even matter if it's ChainCoin and I'm invested in it. I don't care. I don't want to give you bad advice. And to buy on a parabolic is bad advice. So you buy on the dips, you look for the return in confidence, and that's when you get in. So I think it was, look, I'm paraphrasing, but Warren Buffett said something like the best investments he's made is when he buys in a little late and gets out a little early, so before the market crashes. And that's what you're aiming to do as a trader. So yeah, I mean, the guy's pretty successful. It's probably good advice. The other couple of coins I did find, well, one in particular was Lisk. It's another version of Ethereum, I guess, if you like. It's another coin that allows these, sorry, I don't know how it's actually pronounced because I've only read it, but it's either dApps or dApps. But it allows basically other coins and applications to be developed on top of this platform. So Lisk at $1.70 odd, I saw it at, is too cheap, in my opinion. Please do your own research before you buy on any of these ideas. But that's probably about it for the stuff on the market at the moment. I just wanted to give you a quick tip on something I did invest in personally. Again, I want to give full disclosure on anything I've invested in. Now, this one's a massive $40 US that I put into it. When I first found it, I'd only started out with a very small amount of money in the crypto economy. I'd quickly done well, and so I started looking at ICOs. And one that I found early in the game was Encrypgen. I'll just write it up there for you. So, Encrypgen is gene chain technology is what they're calling it. It's basically blockchain technology developed for the medical industry. I suggest you go and have a look, read up, research about what David and his team are doing, because the way I've read this particular investment is I've just put $40 into something that can fast track cures for cancer, stop obesity, cure baldness, all those the superficial things, as well as the really life-changing and critical stuff. But it just stops any bungling within the medical industry of patient files and things like that. So please do your own research. I won't go into massive detail because you can go and check out the website, and David actually gives a full presentation at a conference there. And if you go and have a look at that presentation, he pretty much sums up Encrypgen and its future. One thing I would like to share with you, though, I'll just quickly bring it up on the screen. Sorry, just bear with me. David and I were actually communicating. I contacted him and asked him if I could write an article about Encrypgen and interview him for an article that I was writing on Steam. And after I found the investment, I went, wow, I love this stuff. I'm going to tell people about it. So I just wanted to, I'll just quickly look it up here. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I'm not great with computers. But David sent me an email. I asked him a question. I won't look it up. It'll take too long. But basically, what I asked him is, David, do you think that one day, the fact that your gene chain enables so much research capabilities from collaborative scientists and mathematicians and all sorts of people over the world to delve into the problems that can be solved by DNA? Do you see that as being a really interesting buyout opportunity for someone like Pfizer, for example, which I can't remember the exact number, $73 billion market cap on that company alone? What would they spend on technology like this? It's I can't even think. They just snap up companies like this for millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. So I asked him, I said, David, is that a possibility that you're going to get bought out by a big pharmaceutical company? And I was sort of saying, well, that's a great thing, big buyout means all the shareholders go yippee. And he said, look, it is, but it's not something we'll take them on as investors, sure, and we'll lease parts of the technology to them, absolutely. But, and paraphrasing, and I'm sorry, David, but it was something like, but we would always be wary to keep our vision intact. So what he's saying is, no, we ain't selling, we hodling our own coins. And I loved that. I loved that from the moment I heard that response. I wanted to put more money into it. I really did. I saw it as unethical before I'd released the article, so I released the article first. But I just see that as, when I'm talking about investing in the crypto economy, I talk about investing in people and ideas and coins that are going to either improve the economy, the crypto economy some way, or improve the world we live in. Now, to me, this is really exciting stuff. Are you going to get 10x by tomorrow? No. This is 3-year, 5-year investment stuff. So if you're on here to find out what tip is going to make you money by tomorrow, I don't even know if the market's going to go up tomorrow. I haven't even checked the economic calendar to see the information coming out of Korea and China for ant shares. And so no, I haven't gone into that depth of research for tonight because I'm pretty heavily focused on ChainCoin. But what I can tell you is if you're into ICOs and you're into long-term investment strategy, and you do have some budget left this week or month, however you're running your investment strategy, and you'd like to put a small amount of that into a promising ICO, I think Encrypgen is a really good bet. Again, I cannot promise that this company won't collapse, but I also think it's got huge potential to be a $1 billion company one day. So go and check out Encrypgen website. Check out the ICO offer. Last time I checked, it was 55% sold, so there's no need to rush over there right now. But we do know that these things can start to move quickly, so go and check it out if you are interested. And I'm not sure what the minimum buy-in was, but I bought in for, I think it was 0.1 Ether when it was at 400 US dollars. So I spent, in my eyes, I spent 40 US dollars to buy my coins. So go and check it out for yourself. Please don't just invest blindly off my advice. If you're going to go to the website, watch the video. David tells you everything about the coin, about the Gen chain and Encrypgen in the video. So go and watch the video, do the research on the team he's working with, and if you like the idea like I do, I would encourage you to look at this as a promising ICO. I'm going to go. The surf's sort of got its last little pulse of anything tomorrow, so I really want to get some sleep. I promise I'll do some more research, and I've been working a lot of my theories around tying real world economic principles into the crypto economy. So what I do is I look to Bitcoin, I look to the trade volume. So if there's a lot of volume coming from Korea, for example, into Bitcoin, I look at the economic climate in Korea to get a lead on what Bitcoin might do. Now, it's not super accurate because it's not heavily affecting the economy at the moment, but I believe in the future it will. And like AntShares is just all China. So if you look at the economic climate of China, if they've got good GDP figures and all this sort of stuff coming out, you can assume that more money is going to flow through the economy, and therefore it's going to flow into the investment economy, and that investment economy at the moment does have a substantial interest in AntShares. So that's where you can look for your lead. Get up an economic calendar on your computer, and it actually gives you countdowns, and then it beeps at you when the information comes out. You can't miss it, and you go, oh, that's better than expected or worse than expected. Even it tells you it's better or it's worse, and it tells you what the result will be. It's that easy. So just look to overlay those real world economic principles into the crypto economy. I think that's going to be key going forward, because what we're essentially doing here is creating a new world economy. So the regions that are supporting particular coins need to be taken into account. I haven't checked them recently because I have been on the ChainCoin movement, but I promise I'll get back on board with that, because for everyone who's not a ChainCoin supporter, that's a really promising way to actually show a return in the next 3 to 5 years in investing as the crypto economy gets accepted into the wider world. So anyway, before I blab on any more, I'm going to go. I'll load up the video, which will be about 3 hours after I've actually recorded it, and I'm going to go to bed and get a good surf in tomorrow, and hope that ChainCoin just stabilizes nicely and we see a really nice steady growth pattern for the next sort of 20 to 25 years. Okay, ambitious, but I'm going to go to bed. Take it easy, frothers. See ya.